prime time. This is victory. We are the chosen ones. We're making history. We'll show you what we got. Give everything we have. Every sweat, blood, and tear. Every last breath. We put up a fight until the last man, until the last day, until our last dance. We are here, giving everything and more. To seize the opportunity, you know that we will score. This is victory.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you may be in the world. And welcome back to the Nürburgring. It's Sunday and it's race day again. Race number 3 for the NXT Gen Cup is on the agenda. The cars are already in the grid boxes, and you will notice there's one car missing. And before we went live, we had live pictures on my screen in the commentary booth, and it was Julian Wörtele who was stuck coming out of turn 1. So let's see if he's able to take the start of this race. Here is Lucas Stiefelhagen. Well, this man, 18 years of age and unbeatable in the last 6 competitive sessions that we've had here in the NXT Gen Cup, and unbeatable this weekend. Here is Julian Wörtele. This is not the sight that we wanted to see. And you can see the red blinking light just on the left of his name, underneath his driver number, and that means this car is electrically unsafe, and that means that Julian Wörtele is not able to start this race. Alex Gustafsson is able to start this race, and he will start this race from the front row of the grid. He took his maiden podium yesterday, and to be honest, what a feat it was. I think the whole NXT Gen Cup paddock was happy for Alex Gustafsson. It was one of our happiest third places of the season, and it was right behind this man, Maxime Daga, who lost out by 39 thousandths of a second in the race yesterday. Was overtaken coming out of the last corner by Lucas Stiefelhagen using push to pass. He pressed it just a second later, but that second was just a second too late for him to cross the finish line first. This is Philipp Dietrich. He will be looking to improve his finishing positions from races yesterday. Finished 6th in race number 2 yesterday, and in race number 1, Philipp Dietrich finished on the podium. He finished 3rd. Lennart Wolf was the man who finished 2nd yesterday in race number 1. He will be looking to repeat that feat at least, and maybe go one better. Patricia Stalizzana, DNF in race number 1 yesterday, had to drive a comeback race in race 2, managed to climb all the way back up to P8. And for her, a better starting position this time round. She's starting in P6. So what she can do from that place on the grid, we'll see in just about 2 minutes' time. Benjamin Mazatis, pace was good yesterday in race number 2 especially, led a part of that race, was fighting for quite a while with Alex Gustafsson, and he will be starting 7th in race number 3 here on the Sunday. Pit Finanzi started from pole position in race 2 yesterday, was leading for the first 2 laps, but after that, when Benjamin Mazatis and Alex Gustafsson finally settled down and stopped fighting and focusing on each other and focusing on the driver ahead, which was Pit Finanzi, they caught up to him and quite swiftly made the pass going into turn 1. Theo Vida in 9th, just outside of that top 8, and behind him it's Andreas Kapfinger. Keep in mind, Andreas Kapfinger not able to use his legs. He'll be driving with a handbrake to brake the cars, or to brake the car. It doesn't work as a normal handbrake. It works like a normal brake pedal in the car. It controls all 4 corners of the car, and he has a ring in the steering wheel that is used to modulate the throttle. A little look further down the grid, then it's Bennett Earl starting in P11, Siri Huckveld in 12th. Julian Wörtele won't be taking the start. That starting spot will stay empty. P14 then for Linda Frey, 15th for Misha Sharadan. A little further down the order than he would have wanted, but he'll be looking to make up places from the start. He'll have a clear view ahead because Julian Wörtele won't be there. Vera Jurland will start from P16 on the grid, and Vivian Learn will start P17 on the grid. Here's the championship standings though. 257 points for Lucas Stiefelhagen, 82 points ahead if he manages to continue his winning streak to 6 races in a row and complete a Grand Slam here at the Nürburgring. He'll have one hand on the trophy going into the last round at Sachsenring in 2 weeks' time. Let's first focus on race number 3 in the last race of the weekend for NXT Gen Cup. The 5 red lights are on, they're out, we're underway and racing. It's a good start from our championship leader and pole sitter Lucas Stiefelhagen. Immediately covers off the inside like he did yesterday as well. Leaves a little gap open, but Alex Gustafsson does not want to go for that pass quite yet. Philip Dietrich sending round the outside. Started from P4 around the outside of Maxim Dacha, who's dropping back down the order, starting from P3. The outside for Lennart Wolf as well. He'll be looking to climb from P5 to P3 at the start here, but can't quite continue his search through the field. Philip Dietrich up into the podium now. Alex Gustafsson and Lucas Stiefelhagen will be looking to work together and try to run away after his maiden podium yesterday. He now knows the taste of that champagne and he would love some more of it, Alex Gustafsson. Philip Dietrich, heavy defense on, I think that's Benjamin no, it's still Lennart Wolf. Benjamin Mazatis has dropped a little further back. Of course, started 7th in this race, still 7th. Patricia Stolezana had a good start as well. She's up into 5th now. She's also gotten past Maxim Dacha. Did put 2 wheels onto the grass coming out of the Kurzanbindung, turn number 5 of the racetrack. But she's made her way past and she's up into P5 here. Next goal for her will be the 2 ahead, Lennart Wolf and Philip Dietrich. Pete Finanzi still closely following Benjamin Mazatis, and Theo Vida also able to stay with the pack. Andreas Kapfinger has a bit of a gap to Theo Vida. Bennett Earl behind him. Is Lennart Wolf going to go for a move? He's for sure going to have a look around the outside of Philip Dietrich, but around the chicane, if you don't have a significant overlap going into it, it's difficult to make the pass on the outside. Philip Dietrich, though, caught out by the exit speed out of the chicane by Lennart Wolf, and Lennart Wolf up the inside of the last corner, and he is now up onto the podium. Patricia also wants a bit of it. She also wants to get past Philip Dietrich. Philip Dietrich, though, manages to cover off the inside. They're hogging the pit wall. That's how badly they don't want drivers to get past on the inside. They know how important the inside is for turn number 1. Philip Dietrich, like he did at the start, though, does not care about that. It's going to send it all the way around the outside. Lennart Wolf is also going to go off, and they're both going to lose positions. The outside now for Maxim Dacha to get back onto the podium. And he make it stick around the outside of Lennart Wolf in the Hexis car. Nah, not quite yet. Lennart Wolf will try to hang on to that position around the outside of 4, and he does manage to do so. Patricia Stolezana is still in 5th. Just like Lucas Stiefelhagen, take your time, and nothing needs to be done in the first 2 laps of this race. Lucas Stiefelhagen was 8th going into lap number 5 yesterday of race number 2, and managed to climb his way all the way back up to P1 by the time we crossed the start-finish line on the last lap. So there's still plenty of time left for these drivers, but look at the gap that Alex Gustafsson and Lucas Stiefelhagen have been able to create for themselves. Last 5 races at the Nürburgring that we've done, that's including the 3 races we did here last year. The top 2 has not finished further apart than 3.5 tenths of a second. If we're looking to complete that feat to 6 and make it 2 years in a row of no finishes for the top 2 outside of 3.5 tenths of a second. Alex Gustafsson looks like the closest challenger to Lucas Stiefelhagen. Last time round, lap time for Lucas Stiefelhagen, 150.3, 150.4 for Lucas Stiefelhagen, or for Alex Gustafsson. Lap times nigh on the same. Lennart Wolf has already used the push to pass. That's in an attempt to close the gap ahead. But if these 2 in front are smart and don't fight, they have a 2.3 second gap, or they had a 2.3 second gap going on to this lap. They have 1 more push to pass. If they're smart, they know that a P2 is in the bag here already. But Alex Gustafsson, after his podium yesterday, oh boy, would he love to take off another one and take his first victory in the NXT Gen Cup. It was an emotional day yesterday for them already, and it could get even more emotional today. That was the battle between Sidi Höckfeldt and Bennett Earl. Bennett Earl getting past Sidi Höckfeldt in the STFG, the blue car, that's Bennett Earl. The black car behind that is, or well, the greenish car is Siri Ukveld. That's the battle for P10, the last spot in the top 10. Still those two at the front of the field, keeping their gap to P3. And the longer this goes on for, the better their chances become. And we see three packs now at the front of this field. We have the top two, then we have the battle for third, last spot on the podium, and then we have Patricia Stalizzane leading the way for Philip Dietrich and Benjamin Mazatis. As we get back onto the start-finish straight, Lucas Stiefelhagen will be looking in his mirrors, but he'll also know that Alex Gustafsson will not want to fight at this stage in the race. Maxim Dacha up the inside, locks up the rear tires, but he has the inside for turn one. Has significant overlap. Will he be able to carry it round the outside of turn two? No, he won't. Leonard Wolf professionally gets back up the inside, but Maxim Dacha with the cutback that's so strong coming out of two into three now, once again locking the rear tire. Leonard Wolf has the inside for turn four. We're going to be side by side on the exit of it. Maxim Dacha set his best lap on the last lap of the race. Same is for Leonard Wolf. But it's the outside for the Kurzanbindung, turn 5. The inside very much the favorable line through there, and you see that on the exit of it as well. Maxim Dacha not quite able to get past. Stellar defense by Leonard Wolf to keep his podium position. But all this is doing, it's allowing Lucas Stiefelhagen and Alex Gustafsson to run even further away. Their gap came down by 3/10 last lap, but it'll go up by even more this time round. This time though, Maxim Dacha has managed to get past Leonard Wolf, it looks like. Yes, he has. Still some overlap there though. The inside for the chicane is a strong place to be. Does he want to carry it around the outside? Does he want to take the risk? Of course, Maxim Dacha takes the risk. Patricia Stalizzane also is trying to follow through. It's door banging through the chicane. Philip Dietrich will look to cut back on both of them. There's contact between Maxim or Leonard Wolf and Patricia Stalizzane, and Philip Dietrich takes advantage of that. So in that battle between those two, Patricia gained none. Leonard Wolf lost 3 positions. And Maxim Dacha has been able to run away. No, the outside for Patricia Stalizzane. 2 cars up her inside in the middle of a 3-wide moment. That's Leonard Wolf tried to carry it around the outside after his moment. At the chicane, he'll look to send it up the inside of Patricia going into turn 3. Showing that he's still there and that he clearly wasn't happy with the way he was pushed out coming out of the chicane. Maxim Dacha in P3. At the moment, he'll look to struggle to see Stiefelhagen and Gustafsson still. They're not even in the same camera shot anymore. Here again, we see that moment. Over the curb goes Leonard Wolf. Yeah, then very wide at the second apex for Patricia. And there was almost no room for Leonard Wolf there on the outside. There's the contact. The moment for Patricia having to go opposite lock. See what the stewards say about it. Maxim Dacha will be clear of it all. He'll look to chase down the top 2 in this race. 3 laps to go after this one. These 5 laps have flown by. Plenty of action to enjoy, and here's the top 2. Gap at the moment, just over 4.5 of a second. And the incident between Patricia Stalizzane and Leonard Wolf is now under investigation by race control. Once again, look at that hug in the pit wall. Philip Dietrich has gotten past on both of them as well. He's now running away. He's trying to catch back up to Maxim Dacha. Leonard Wolf up the insides, covering off the inside for Patricia Stalizzane. Benjamin Mazatis looking for a way through. The mirror on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side for Patricia. Not pointing where she wants them to point. So she'll be blind on what's happening behind. She'll have her rearview mirror in the car. And that's all she can go off for now. Philip Dietrich is quick here. He might well challenge Maxime Dacha towards the end of this race for the podium. And Leonard Wolf is in a tough position here. He's the only one in the top 8 who's used one of his push-to-passes already. Pit Venanzi is also able to stay with this group. But this is by far, I think, the least congested the top 10 has been for the weekend. Lukas Stiefelhagen in control of this race, lights the flag, would be something that has not happened this season. Can Lukas Stiefelhagen make it round this time? Once again, these two go for take 2 in the chicane. Once again, there was a bit of contact. This time, though, Leonard Wolf gets out ahead of the chicane at least, carries it around the outside of the last corner and manages to stay ahead of Patricia Stalizzane. A push to pass used by Patricia going into the chicane. She's now in the same position as Leonard Wolf is in. Has used the push to pass, and the drivers behind that will now be in a better position than they themselves are. Oh, there was a moment between car 35 and Patricia Stalizzane. That's Benjamin Mazatis and Patricia. As Patricia, in the meantime, gets past Leonard Wolf finally into turn 1. P5 now for Patricia as these two go at it. Told you, Philip Dietrich looks quick in this race, and up the inside of Maxime Dacha he goes. Leonard Wolf now has Benjamin Mazatis to deal with. He then has to deal with Pit Venanzi. There's contact coming out of turn 4. They luckily managed to skip the bollards that Philip Dietrich took out yesterday in the race. But contact between Pit Venanzi and Benjamin Mazatis. After Leonard Wolf had to defend for both of them. But Stalizzane, black and white flag for track limits at turn 10. That's her last strike. That's the chicane coming up. If she goes over track limits again, that will result in a 5-second time penalty, and that'll drop her way down the order. It's not been her weekend already. She can't use another penalty. The outside for Maxime Dacha, at least having a look. That was a track limit there for Philip Dietrich. But he has one left at least. Covers off the inside going into the last corner as the two at the front of the field now enter the last lap of the race. Final lap board is out. The battle for the lead will be fierce. Alex Gustafsson looking to the outside now of Lukas Stiefelhagen. These two now have the room to fight. Alex Gustafsson has the pace to fight. He's been patiently waiting behind Lukas Stiefelhagen for this whole race. Lukas Stiefelhagen on a 5-race winning streak. Will Alex Gustafsson, who hadn't taken a podium before yesterday's race number 2, will he be the one to finally put an end to that streak? He's certainly in a position now where he can do so. Both drivers, still 2 push-to-passes left. The same is the case for the battle for the last spot on the podium. Philip Dietrich looks like the faster driver. But we have seen so often that it's not always the fastest driver that wins. It's the smartest driver that wins at the end of the day. Good push-to-pass usage from Alex Gustafsson. Will he have the run? The slipstream's working. Into the chicane, he'll have to try something around the outside, I presume. Lukas Stiefelhagen will cover off the inside. We can't see the chicane quite yet. We're looking at the battle behind. This is the battle for the lead. To the outside goes Alex Gustafsson. Can he try and push Lukas Stiefelhagen maybe into a mistake? Forces him to take a little bit of a later breaking point than normal. Lukas Stiefelhagen will cover off the inside. This is something that Maxime Dacha did yesterday as well. But it looks like Alex Gustafsson is too far back. He'll get a second place. But Lukas Stiefelhagen wins race number 3 at the Nürburgring and completes a Grand Slam. Something never done before in the NXT Gen Cup. Fastest in every single session this weekend. As we have a three-wide moment for P5, Patricia Stalizzana, Lennart Wolf and Pit Finanzi. A photo finish between those three, but Lucas Stiefelhagen with this win puts one hand on the trophy. It's been another controlled race from Lucas Stiefelhagen, led from lights to flag. And this weekend, just like last weekend at the Nürburgring, nobody has been able to beat him. There hasn't been a podium without Lucas Stiefelhagen this season, and he continues that. Battle behind that for P3 was won by Philipp Dietrich, who finishes on the last spot on the podium, and Maxim Dacha finishes P4. Here is your result for race 3 and the last race of the NXT Gen Cup this weekend. Lucas Stiefelhagen wins another one, makes it 6 on the bounce. Alex Gustafsson in second, takes another podium home. Philipp Dietrich in third, ahead of Maxim Dacha in fourth, Patricia Stalizzana in fifth, Lennart Wolf in sixth, Pit Finanzi in seventh, and Benjamin Mazatis finishes in P8. P9 then for Theo Vida, ahead of Siri Höckfeldt, who finishes ahead of Misha Shard, and those two seemed like they had an amazing fight again. Also Andreas Kapfinger was involved in that, finished only half second behind Misha. Vera Jurland in 13th, ahead of Linda Frey in 14th. Vivian Earl in 15th, and Bennett Earl and Julian Wertele not finishing this race. Julian Wertele not even starting this one. Well, what a weekend that was again. Lucas Stiefelhagen still unbeaten since the Nürburgring 5 weeks ago. The drivers will have exactly 2 weeks to think about how to beat this man. Nobody seems to have an answer to the speed that Lucas Stiefelhagen is able to provide. And this is the gap in the championship then. 94 points over Maxim Dacha, 101 over Philipp Dietrich. Alex Gustafsson can also still finish second in the championship with his amazing weekend he's had so far. And as all drivers put into pit lane, here's mother, there is son. A beautiful moment for the Stiefelhagen family, because their son's done it. A Grand Slam this weekend. Nobody's been able to beat him in any of the sessions. In the background you saw Philipp Dietrich running to Alex Gustafsson. Great sportsmanship between those two drivers. Philipp Dietrich is back onto the podium. He's happy with that. And Alex Gustafsson takes a second place now. The only thing that's left logically for Alex Gustafsson is the win. He now has a second place and a third place finish. Lucas talking to his dad there and his engineer.
Awesome. 6 in a row. Yeah. That's great.
And as his mechanic there, once again mentions 6 races in a row unbeaten for Lucas Stiefelhagen. Where does this end? Here's that moment between Philipp Dietrich and Alex Gustafsson. Look at this! Alex could barely get out of the car before Philipp Dietrich was at it. Awesome to see. This is what NXT Gen Cup is all about. Philipp Dietrich genuinely happy for Alex Gustafsson and genuinely happy for himself as well. Awesome bunch of drivers and an awesome bunch of people.
It's like P4, really happy for you, like really.
Well, Toby's ready for the podium. And we'll start with a driver who took 3rd place yesterday as well. Philipp Dietrich takes home another podium. And he takes back some points on Maxim Dacha in the fight for 2nd in the championship. Alex Gustafsson makes it his second podium of the weekend. He finishes second ahead of Philip Dietrich. Improved one position on his third place yesterday, but Lucas Stiefelhagen wins 6 in a row and makes it an unbeaten weekend at the Nürburgring. And was your Dutch national anthem for the third time this weekend. And there we go. A champion himself and one of our mechanics, champion in Formula Nordic in Sweden, is handing out the trophies. And the first one goes to Philip Dietrich. Second place trophy goes to Alex Gustafsson. He'll be happy with that one. And, well, he has so many of these already. But Lucas Stiefelhagen takes another first place trophy home now. Has won all but 3 races this season. And it's time for champagne. And while the drivers are busy with that, I'm going to tell you about the last round of the championship. It will be at Sachsenring in 2 weeks' time from now. We'll be crowning the 3rd Next Gen Cup champion. And we welcome you back then at the Sachsenring. For now, though, from the Nürburgring, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Got an awesome weekend, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time at the Sachsenring. Goodbye.
Time. This is victory. We are the chosen ones. We're making history. We'll show you what we got. Give everything we have. Every sweat, blood, and tear. Every last breath. We put up a fight until the last man, until the last day, until our last dance. We are here, giving everything and more. To seize the opportunity, you know that we will score. This is victory.